In 2009, deep in the sweltering heat of a Colombian coal mine, a team of paleontologists was doing what they had done countless times before, carefully sifting through layers of ancient rock in search of clues about life millions of years ago. The air was thick, humid, and heavy with the scent of wet earth. Each layer they uncovered was a page from Earth's distant past, a snapshot frozen in time. But nothing in their experience could have prepared them for what they were about to discover. As the researchers gently brushed away the mud, they saw a bone, massive, almost impossibly thick, wider than a human wrist. At first glance, it looked like the vertebra of a crocodile. After all, crocodilians were the undisputed giants of these prehistoric swamps. A creature as large as a bus already seemed unimaginable, yet plausible. But as the scientists continued to study the shape, something didn't add up. The curves were all wrong. The vertebrae didn't match any known crocodile species. And then came the revelation. These weren't crocodile vertebrae at all. They belonged to a snake the size of which the world had never seen. They named it Titanoboa, the Serra fossil site, a window into the past. The Serra site in Colombia wasn't just a dig site, it was a time capsule. The rainforest here had been buried suddenly under layers of mud and volcanic ash, perfectly preserving everything that had lived and died there. Fossils of fish, turtles, crocodiles, plants, and tiny mammals were all intertwined, forming a snapshot of a complex ecosystem. And at the center of it all lay Titanoboa, the apex predator, the undisputed king of these ancient swamps. As more vertebrae were uncovered, followed by ribs and other associated fossils, the research team realized this was no exaggeration. The fossils were consistent, enormous, and completely unprecedented. When they measured the bones, then measured them again, and once more, the numbers didn't lie. This snake was over 15 meters long. That's around 50 feet. Its weight? Between 2,000 and 2,500 pounds. To put that in context, the largest anaconda alive today measures roughly 28 feet in length and weighs around 500 pounds. Titanoboa wasn't just bigger, it was a colossus, almost 5 times heavier than the largest snakes alive today. How scientists measure a giant snake? You might wonder, how can scientists estimate the size of a snake from just a handful of bones? The answer lies in scaling laws. Modern snakes follow predictable growth patterns. The size of a vertebra correlates with the snake's total body length. By comparing Titanoboa's vertebrae with those of modern boas and anacondas, paleontologists could extrapolate the snake's true size. But it wasn't just about the math. Titanoboa's size also tells us something extraordinary about the climate of the Paleocene epoch. Snakes are ectotherms. They rely entirely on their environment to regulate body temperature. In warmer climates, metabolism speeds up, digestion is faster, and growth is more efficient. Titanoboa didn't just happen to be enormous. It existed because the planet itself pushed biology to its limits. The Paleocene, a hot, humid world. Imagine stepping back in time 58 million years. The dinosaurs have vanished, and the Earth is rebuilding. Tropical regions of what is now Colombia are sweltering, with temperatures averaging 32 degrees Celsius year-round, almost no seasonal variation, and a rainforest that never cools, not even at night. This was a world of relentless heat. Rivers steamed in the sun, forests oozed humidity, and life adapted in extreme ways. In such conditions, Titanoboa could grow to sizes unimaginable today. Modern tropical forests, like the Amazon or Congo, are actually too cool to sustain a snake this massive. Titanoboa's enormous body depended on the constant oppressive heat of the Paleocene. Without it, it couldn't survive. Life in the swamps. The Serra site reveals a rainforest like no other. Giant turtle shells the size of pool tables, primitive crocodiles with blunt, crushing teeth, and dense vegetation created a labyrinth of swampy water and tangled roots. Visibility was poor, sounds muffled by constant rainfall, buzzing insects, and thick foliage. For Titanoboa, these conditions were perfect. Its enormous size gave it an advantage. It could remain almost completely motionless, partially submerged, waiting for prey to come close. The water supported its massive bulk, while heat and humidity kept its muscles primed for action. And the action it would take. Titanoboa wasn't a creature that chased prey like modern terrestrial predators. Its 40-plus feet of muscle didn't glide gracefully across land. It dragged, sank, fought gravity with every movement. But in water, it was virtually invisible. Silent, patient, and deadly, it used fallen logs, roots, and murky currents as camouflage. The hunt. Ambush predator supreme. When Titanoboa struck, it was terrifying. Biomechanical models suggest it could exert over 400 psi of constriction pressure, enough to crush a crocodile's ribs instantly. Its diet likely included giant turtles, early crocodiles, fish, and even small mammals, anything that came near the water's edge. Water wasn't just a hunting ground, it was a lifeline. Buoyancy allowed it to carry its massive weight, move efficiently, and regulate body temperature. Without water, Titanoboa would struggle to breathe, digest, or move. In the swamps of ancient Colombia, it was perfectly adapted, a cold-blooded monster in a world of heat, hiding in plain sight, waiting for its next meal. The ecosystem that made a monster. Titanoboa's environment was extreme. High temperatures, abundant prey, swampy water, and dense vegetation created the perfect conditions for a predator of its scale. Other animals adapted as well. Giant turtles with armored shells, early crocodiles experimenting with crushing jaws, and fish abundant in rivers. Every species played a role in this ecosystem, which was delicately balanced to sustain life at enormous scales. Its existence also tells us something about global climate patterns. To support a snake this large, temperatures needed to remain hot for millions of years. Titanoboa wasn't just an apex predator, it was a living climate record, a biological thermometer of Earth's distant past. Why Titanoboa died. So, if Titanoboa was so perfectly adapted, why did it vanish? The answer lies in climate change, gradual, relentless, and unforgiving. After the Paleocene, Earth began cooling. Average temperatures dropped by several degrees over millions of years, altering the delicate balance of the swamp ecosystem. For a cold-blooded giant, the consequences were catastrophic. Slower metabolism meant slower digestion, reduced growth, and lethargy. Maintaining its massive size became impossible. Prey species dwindled, river systems became seasonal, and competition increased. Titanoboa didn't die from predators, disease, or violence. It died because the planet itself changed, making survival impossible. Titanoboa's extinction is a reminder of the fragility of life and the profound impact climate has on ecosystems. Just a few degrees difference and the largest snake to ever exist ceased to be. Lessons from Titanoboa. Titanoboa is more than a giant snake. It's a window into a world that no longer exists, a lesson in evolution, climate, and adaptation. It shows how organisms push the limits of biology when conditions are perfect, and how quickly the balance can shift. For a brief moment in Earth's history, the conditions aligned, and a snake unlike anything else dominated the swamps of Colombia. Then, as swiftly as it appeared, it vanished, leaving only bones and questions for us to ponder. Titanoboa's story is awe-inspiring, terrifying, and humbling all at once. It reminds us that life is fragile, ecosystems are interconnected, and climate is a powerful force that shapes every corner of the planet. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of Titanoboa, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel for more incredible discoveries, and turn on notifications so you never miss a story that pushes the limits of history and science. Your support allows us to create bigger, better, and more immersive content, exploring the most extraordinary creatures and mysteries of our planet. Together, we can uncover the unknown, one incredible story at a time.